Ready for step two. We've got our ingredients ready. Okay, our dough has risen nicely, so it's ready to go. Our sauce that we made is the moisture has been absorbed into the spices, so that's ready to go. We sliced up about this is about between 8 and 10 ounces of cheese. We're gonna on this one we're gonna put some chicken on it. We've sliced our tomato. We sliced the tomato as thin as we can possibly slice it, and then we're going to be putting on some red pepper. But I think it's important at this time that you understand what I understand is the beginning of the concept of pizza. Pizza was a way to stretch out the ingredients. In other words, it was a way to use your leftovers up to feed the help with. So when you're making your pizza, keep that in mind. You're going to use whatever you've got in the refrigerator for your ingredients. Okay, so to start off with, we need to prepare our counter. And I use cornmeal to roll out my dough. And the reason why is because cornmeal doesn't get up into the air, so it makes a lot less dust in your kitchen and through your house. So, and it does add a little bit of flavor to it, and we kind of like the flavor. Okay, but it's really more of a neutral flavor. So we're going to prepare our area here to spin out our pizza.
Adds texture.
All right, now let's grab our dough. It's going to be sticky on the bottom, so we're just going to pull it off. There it is. And it's risen nicely. We don't let it go as far as what we do with bread dough. We could, but we don't need to. So we want to make sure that it's not sticky at all. So we're going to make sure we cover it with plenty of cornmeal and keep our counter. And then we're just going to kind of push it out, and we're going to, as we do that, we're going to spread our fingers like this to help it stretch out. So we're just going to keep doing that. We'll make sure we keep our cornmeal mixed up. And we're going to do as far as we can. Sometimes we can get it all the way stretched out without having to roll it. Sometimes we can't. It doesn't really matter. But you can see how I'm pulling it apart as I do this. Let's put down a little bit more. I'm going to pull it apart. All right, we're just taking our time. We're not experts at throwing it in the air or any of that. That looks like fun. You just don't have the skills to do that, and you don't need to. That's the important part. You don't need those skills. All right, we've got it about as far as we can get it. All right, so we'll just go ahead and roll it out the rest of the way. Okay. Until we get it the same size as the pan. All right. You can see the seasoning inside of it. That's going to make it special. If you're going to be feeding a friend, they'll not had one like this maybe. All right, so there's our pizza crust all ready to go. Now the next step is we'll want to make sure that we've got everything in order. The first thing we're going to put on here is we're going to put our sauce on, then we're going to put our cheese on, and then we're going to put our tomato on, and then we'll put our final ingredients on after that. So boom, boom, boom. So get a spoon ready here. So that's what I'll be spreading my sauce with. All right, now over here, we've heated up our pan. It's been in there for about half hour, 45 minutes, to 450 degrees. This is because I'm using a Lodge cast iron pizza pan. But if you're just using the thin regular pizza pans with the holes in the bottom, you wouldn't have to preheat your oven so much. Just get it up to temperature and bang, you're ready to go. But I like the Lodge cast iron pizza pan. It's just what I use. But there are a few tricks in order to make it work right. And one of them is that you need to have the pizza pan. You need to have the pizza pan slippery enough so that you can slide the dough around on it. So I'm getting this Crisco. This is just Crisco on a paper towel, ready to grease the pan the moment I take it out. So I want to work fast because I want to have my pan as hot as possible. All right, so come on over here and we'll see. Let's pull that pan out. We'll slop it on here and we'll throw the dough on. So here we go. All right, gonna work fast. There's our 450 degree pan. We just slap on a little Crisco on here. You see this pan, we use it a lot. You can see it's nicely seasoned. Something about cast iron, it's just a dream to work with. All right, so we'll put our crust on, and that Crisco gives us just enough slippery on there. All right, so we just to make sure we got an edge the way we want it. You can hear it's already starting to cook with the hot pan. All right, now the next step is we'll put our sauce on. Okay, and just take the spoon and just go like this. And that's how you get it on there, somewhat evenly. Nothing has to be perfect. That's one thing you learn about cooking, is that it doesn't have to be perfect. All right. All right, that's our sauce. Now we'll lay our cheese on. I like to use a chunk of mozzarella, and the reason for that is because if you get the shredded mozzarella, it's been processed. It may be in a different way. It may not necessarily have be as much pure mozzarella cheese as what you can buy when you buy a block or a portion of a block in the meat department. So I just think I'm getting more of what I'm paying for. Now, the next thing, we'll put the tomatoes on. We want to put those over the top of the cheese. This will keep the cheese from burning and so quick. And so we want to, you can see how thin we have these tomato slices. We have them just as thin as we can get them when we slice them. And I don't think it really matters what type of tomato you use, but it does make a nice pizza. All right, so now we've got most of it covered. Okay, there we go. Now, next we'll put on a little red pepper. We're putting this on because this is what we had. Remember, that's the key, is with the best pizza is the one that you use your leftovers on. And here's some leftover chicken. And that I've got chunked up here.
Is there seasoning in that?
Yeah. This I prepared this in advance for a soup that I had used, and I didn't use it all, and so I used pepper and salt on this and gave it a little bit of seasoning. But you wouldn't have to. It's just whatever you like. And there's my pizza ready to go. So I'm gonna pack everything down. It looks like it's as uniform as what I like it to be. And the next step is we'll just throw it in. the oven at our 450, and it's going to be in there for about, well, we're going to start off with about 20 minutes. And then we'll take a look at it and see how long it takes. So we'll do our timer. Okay. And that's 20 minutes. And then we'll come back and we'll take it out, see how it turns out.